Hey, welcome back. This is the Friday edition of All Angles here on eNCA. Today is the final day for residents of Ekurhuleni to lodge formal objections to the Metro's valuations role. There have been complaints of inaccuracies and rates errors. eNCA's Nqobile Madlala is following up on this story and joins us live now for an update. And Nqobile, around this time, many of us are complaining around the annual increases in as far as the rates of municipalities are concerned. I imagine that the situation in Ekurhuleni is no different.
Well, that's right, Tulas. A lot of people that you are seeing here in this line are really just worried about what exactly you are speaking about, because most of them say that their property valuation is not exactly as precise as it should be. But of course, we will find out some more in terms of how exactly it has been so skewed. But Tulas, people here have been waiting from the morning to be attended to. They want to know how the valuation worked. And even earlier on, we saw a lady who was having a bit of a scuffle here with the security guards. She wanted to go in. She says there are less people that are working inside. They are not getting the kind of help that they need. But of course, joining me now is a representative from Alta who's going to give us an understanding as to what sort of issues have the residents that are being that we have seen here have basically raised with you.
What we see here today is a lot of people coming to object to the Ekurhuleni valuation role. So the issues we have picked up from our supporters from Alta and from other ratepayers organisations is that some properties have been exorbitantly increased in their market value. In other instances, some properties have been incorrectly zoned. So the significance hereof is that the market value of your property, as determined by the municipality, has a direct correlation to the amount of municipal tax a person pays. So in much simpler terms, the higher value your property is, the higher in rates and taxes you will pay.
All right. Perhaps give us an understanding in terms of the numbers. When we speak about these numbers that have gone up, just how bad has it been?
Well, some exorbitant figures are increases from up to 200%. In some instances, we've seen increases from around 2 million to 7 million. And some of the extraordinary figures amount to from 7 million up to 20 million in increases. And that is for residential properties.
And of course, some of the people that spoke to you are pensioners. This might be a problem for them because it's a lot of money to pay back every month.
No, absolutely. Some pensioners are unfortunately less fortunate than other pensioners who have private savings. So this is quite the burden on the purse or on the financial situation for these residents. And they have no other means, but in some cases they need to sell their properties because they simply won't be able to afford these increased rates on their properties.
And so what is the way forward from you then?
Well, up to date, we have, as Alta, tried to engage with the municipal manager. She has been nowhere to be seen. We wish to engage on how to reach an amicable solution to this problem. The role is erroneous. The procedures weren't followed. The people you see here is merely a fraction of the people who actually became aware of the issues on the valuation role. The majority of Ekurhuleni citizens do not even know that their property values are being increased. So we are at this stage at the moment where we wish to mobilize the residents of Ekurhuleni to lodge their objections, and if this is not sorted out properly, then unfortunately civil society would need to revert to court action to allow for the courts to decide on this unlawful act.
And of course, this is concerning considering the fact that we are on the third wave. To see these numbers with so many people and no social distancing, what's your take on that?
To be quite frank, it's absolutely disgraceful. We are currently in the third wave of a global pandemic. There is no electronic means for residents to submit their objections. So some people have been standing in the queue since 7 this morning. We've heard from some individuals that they are here for the third day in a row, and it's shameful to say the least. And this indifference by the municipality is not something to write home about at all.
Thank you very much. Well, tell us, as you can hear there from Alta, that this is something that's very difficult for the residents here. Again, you can just see the line. It's almost difficult to really, it's almost impossible to miss it. These are a number of people that have come here to object or lodge that objection with regards to their rezoning, as well as the fact that their property, the valuation property of the property has gone up, skyrocketed. As Alta is telling us that over 200%. In fact, we spoke to one of the gentlemen who was here, and he said his property was valued at about 2 million rand, and it went up as far as 7 million rand. And now this is concerning, of course, because they need to pay on a monthly basis the rates, and this is an issue because some of them are pensioners saying that they don't have that money. So, of course, we are reaching out to Ekurhuleni. We have had a bit of difficulties to try and get the answers from the city, but we are still reaching out to them.
Yikes, can you imagine that picture, that scenario that you paint there from one of the people that you spoke to? Imagine your property going from 2 million rand valuation to 7 million rand. The implications, in as far as the rates are concerned, is actually something that's, it beggars belief, really. Thank you for that. That is eNCA's Nqobile Madlala out in Ekurhuleni. They're tracking that situation as people object to the valuations that have been done by the municipality. Hopefully we'll hear from the municipality itself about what the situation is and what the objection processes are, so that people only pay, for the fair value of their properties.